Well, hey, diet disruptors. Carrie here, and I am pumped up about what I am going to talk to you today about. Now, I do have to tell you, you all know that we are in the middle of our series with Mark McDonald on menopause and metabolism, and it has been amazing. I encourage you to go watch it. We've done 5 episodes. We have 3 more to do, and our plan is to do one every week, but life sometimes gets in the way. And so, if you guys know Mark McDonald at all, he is a massive celebrity nutritionist. He is just everybody needs a piece of him and I'm very, very blessed to be able to be friends with him, have him be my mentor, and talk to him just about every single day. And he just has a lot going on right now. So I said to him, don't worry, I am going to, we usually record those in advance. We weren't able to record last week. So we're going to try and pick that up again next week. But we will get through all 8 and it will be ready for you. But this week, I decided I was going to light a fire under your butt. I'm going to drop some fire so you can have a flame under your butt. So give me some fire comments if you can. Give me that, that little emoji guy with the fire. I want to see some flames because we're going to get really, really passionate today about what I have to share. And I hope that it builds some urgency in you. I really want these sessions to be things that you are inspired by, that you want to take action with, and that you want to move on. And in fact, I will tell you that one of the sessions we did with Mark, we talked about exercise, right? We're digging into a different topic every week for us women who are going in that direction of menopause. And actually, that series is not just for people with menopause because once you're in menopause, if you haven't been doing all the things, you're going to be playing catch up. But if you are in your 20s, 30s, 40s, and you haven't gotten there yet, your 50s, the things that we talk about are really, really important to start doing. And today is going to be a perfect bridge between these episodes because really, I'm gonna work to get you moving and get you feeling urgent. But one of the things that I learned, or not learned, but one of the things that lit a fire under my butt during our talks with Mark was in the episode with exercise. And Mark always stands. And it doesn't matter. Sometimes when he and I do regular Zooms together, he'll be sitting at his office desk, but most of the time he is standing. And he encouraged me, get up, stand up, stand up. But my setup isn't really great for a standing kind of standing. So I just ordered a standing desk. Very excited about it. I've wanted to pull the trigger on that for a while and finally I did. So I'm hoping that the next time I come live to you, I'll be standing at my desk, depending on when it gets here. So I want to know in the comments if you stand, did you stand at your desk? I had a meeting with my marketing team last week and everybody was at a standing desk and it just sort of motivated me a little bit more. Standing is so important. If we're sitting all day, then moving. I mean, if you have your watch, it tells you to stand, right? But there is some truth to that. So I'm excited about my standing desk. I want to know if you have a standing desk, if you use a standing desk, what you like about it, if you use it or not, or if you want a standing desk. Tell me what your thoughts are about the standing desk. I'm very excited about it. So tell me what you think. I want to see your comments there. All right. So today we are talking about urgency. We are talking, you guys know I am not a dieter anymore, right? That the whole reason that all of our followers are called diet disruptors is because we don't diet. And I want you to know so badly why dieting is just always going to fail you. It's never going to work for you. And it's always going to be something that just continues to just take over your life. And that's not what I want at all for you. Okay. So what I need though is for you to understand why it's what's going to happen if you keep going. Because here's the thing. I've had a bunch of conversations with people recently and they have been it's sort of like, how do I say this? What I'm saying to them makes sense about what not to do, right? Not dieting, but I'm not sure they're really ready yet. And I wonder why. Sometimes oh gosh, we do so much mindset work, and I think, okay, they're not ready yet because there could be a variety of reasons. One is they don't want to invest the time, the resources, and the money to doing it right, to learning it right. means you're not urgent enough, means you don't want it bad enough, means your why isn't big enough. There are people that I know are worried because they're so afraid, what if it doesn't work, right? But I will always say our approach around refueling your body is like nothing you've ever done before, because you've always done the same thing over and over again. You've always done dieting. You've always done things that require you to deprive your body. So let's actually try something that does work. But the reason why I want to debunk that is because we know this works for everybody. Doing PFC every 3, understanding blood sugar stabilization, making sure your blood sugar is stabilized with a simple, satisfying, and sustainable approach is your body's love language. But again, there isn't that much urgency sometimes in some women. They're like, I don't want this to be a problem. I want to do something about it, but I'm really busy. Or, it's just not a good time right now. It'll never be a good time. But what I am going to tell you today should scare you a little bit. And I'm sorry if it does, but not sorry. Sorry, not sorry. And the reason is because ladies, we can't afford to keep doing what we've been doing. It's not just about weight loss, because I know that a lot of you aren't happy with how you look, but it's not, you're just kind of thinking, I'm just going to like keep doing what I'm doing, or it's really not like life or death right now, right? But here's the thing. Every day that goes by as we get older, that we don't figure this out, the longer we don't eat correctly, the worse it's going to be. I'm going to say that again. The longer we don't eat correctly, the worse it's going to be. But yet, you could start literally today eating correctly, and you can see a difference tomorrow. And I don't mean you're going to see a difference on the scale tomorrow. I don't even want you to have the dang scale. I want that out of your life forever for many reasons. But you're going to start to see it working. Now, you'll see it in energy. You'll start to see it in your emotions. You start to see it in your skin. You start to feel your metabolism boosting in a variety of ways. It can work quickly, but if you don't every single day, you don't eat correctly, you're putting yourself more and more at risk. So today we're lighting a fire under your butt, people. Let's do that. All right. So I want you to actually just be honest. I want you to think back to how long you may have been dieting and feeling kind of frustrated with your body, right? If you're like me and most of my clients, what have you been doing this dieting thing for like 20 years or more? And then when I say diet, a lot of you think I'm not really dieting. You are. You are. If you're not actively doing blood sugar stabilization, where you know how to do PFC every 3, and you know and understand what clean eating is as much as possible, but also you know how to deviate without feeling guilt. If you don't know all of those things, you're dieting because you're worried. You have a dieting mindset. We talk about this all the time in our membership group. A dieting mindset is one who categorizes food as good or bad, who is on or who is off, who counts calories in her head or looks at the menu, wherever you are at a restaurant, at a fast food restaurant, or if you're at a restaurant and they have the calories, you're looking at calories and counting them in some way. So you may not be really aware, but you're doing it. You could also say, but I'm just eating healthy. Eating healthy has a dieting mindset with it, because there is food that allows you to feel guilty. When you're not eating healthy, you can feel bad, but also healthy doesn't mean correct. Healthy might mean that you're putting good food in your body, but if you're not balancing your blood sugar, you could be putting yourself at such risk anyway. But then you could be a traditional dieter, right? Maybe you're doing keto or fasting, or you think I can't eat after 6 o'clock at night and you're doing little bits of fasting, or maybe you just wait until noon to eat. You're not really fasting, but you're just holding off, or you're saving your quote unquote calories for a big meal later. That's all dieting, you guys. That's all around deprivation. It's all around the dieting mindset. It's all around food controlling you and you not having freedom. So let me tell you though, how long have you been like that? If you have been like me, the way I was, or any of my clients, what do you think it's like 20 years or more? I want you to put in the comments how many years you think you've been quote unquote dieting. Again, any of those scenarios counts as dieting. Put it in the comments. I want to know. And every time you restrict yourself, every single time you put yourself at a deficit, your body will slow down a little bit more. I want you to think about it like the low power mode on your phone. When you have the low power mode on your phone, like when you're at 20% and then 10%, right? Your phone operates a little slower every time. Eventually, we know that like Apple has it set up, so you got to just end up getting a new phone, right? But it just, when it slows down, before you charge it up, it's not going to run as well. You have to turn some things off. It even gives you the option to go into low power mode. Every diet you go on, every time you restrict yourself in any of those scenarios, whether it's uh, totally all gung ho diet or just little pieces of a diet that are actually sabotaging you, you're putting your body and in the low power mode. And your hormones change as you age. So let me just tell you this, as women, we lose 5 to 10% muscle mass every 10 years. And so every diet you are on, every time you are doing any of those things that are not focused on blood sugar stabilization, and if you're not understanding PFC every 3, it's like you're speeding up that time frame. I always say, like it or not, women, we are on a train. Men, you're on this train too. But women, you're on this train and it's going, because we're losing 5 to 10% muscle mass every 10 years. So our body is going to start slowing down. Our body is going to naturally gain more weight. So that train is going. Menopause is coming. But we are literally making that train go faster and faster with every single diet that we're on for every single day that we are on it. Because anytime we put ourselves at a deficit, we are pulling from our muscles. So the more we pull from our muscles and our blood sugar is low, the slower our metabolism gets, the more out of whack our hormones are. And then when you do eat, you're for sure not balancing your blood sugar, you're going to spike it, and then you're going to store fat. And just remember, once you lay a fat cell, it can never go away. So dieting will literally make it worse over time. So if you are in your 40s and 50s and keep thinking back to the time when you lost 30 pounds on a diet and you just keep thinking, all I got to do is do that. Like when I was 30, when I was 25, it worked. Well, it worked because you were starting at a high point. But every diet you're on, you're going to start at a new low, a new set point. Your hormones are constantly adjusting and then readjusting, which is going to make menopause much harder. Your metabolism is starting off slower every single time than it was with the last diet, and you're going to continue to regress. And so that fat cell, right? Once you produce it, you can never lose it. So that is why the weight you have gained and lost and gained over the years has produced more and more fat cells. Listen though, weight gain is actually a symptom of health and hormones. So the more weight you're gaining isn't just about figuring out a way to release it. If you haven't lit a fire under your butt around this, I want this to be that fire, because you have to figure out how to turn around your overall health and balance. It's an equation. It's a math equation. If you have been on this blood sugar roller coaster, which for sure all of you have, 2 + 2 = 4. And when you keep doing that and your body keeps gaining weight as a way to protect itself from you, it equals massive health issues that you are at risk for. It equals type 2 diabetes. It equals heart disease. It equals depression. It equals dementia. Like all of those things come down the pike. So if you understand that every day that you are on this blood sugar roller coaster, you are putting yourself more and more at risk. You have to start now to turn around your overall health and balance your hormones, because, well, then it can release the weight it's been holding on to. But every day that goes by that you aren't fueling your body correctly and that you are depriving it in one way or another because you don't understand the formula, you're putting yourself more and more at risk. Every time we diet, our body has to adjust. All of that stress on our bodies causes our lack of energy, our weight gain, our skin issues, our mental instability, and more. Brain fog, right? But it also puts us significantly at risk for long-term health diseases. So I want you to think about this. We have a client. She is amazing. I'm not going to say her name because she's a very, very private person, but she recently posted in our membership group, and she was just at a loss, to be very honest with you. When I talked to her just over 3 months ago on the phone, she was 51 years old, had dieted her whole life, a nurse. You guys, don't stress that you don't know the answers, because when we have our medical professionals, I can't tell you how many doctors and nurses I coach other health coaches, then you shouldn't know it either. But she was 51, dieted her whole life, was a nurse, diagnosed with diabetes, a variety of other health issues that were brought out by her latest blood results. It was then that I talked to her. She was so worried. It became so urgent. It became life or death, like that. If she was going along and it was like that urgency was, yeah, I want to lose the weight, but I'm not sure. But then in a day, when she got that blood work back, it was like, this isn't okay anymore. And when I asked the question about where do you think you're going to be in 10 years, the question was like, will I even be alive in 2 years? That's how urgent it was. And it's much harder to turn around then, you guys. But let me tell you what happened in 3 months. Her progress. I took some notes. I'm gonna read it to you. In 3 months, her A1C dropped from 13.4 to 7.0. Her LDL from 198 to 116. Her triglycerides from 225 to 118. Her total cholesterol from 293 to 182. Her doctor had said she had never seen such an improvement in such a short amount of time with just food. Now, she's only released 5 pounds, but that's because her body is continuing to try to heal. It's much harder the older you are, but it's possible. Look at that amount of progress in 3 months. But if she had just looked at the scale, she wouldn't have seen that. That is an unbelievable amount of progress in a very, very short amount of time. But also recognize, had she done this 10 years ago, right, where we'd be, right? And the thing is, we don't have time to waste. I worry and think about this all the time. We have 3,500 people in our Facebook group, 9,000 followers on our business page. Y'all, I worry and pray for everyone to be able to know this information. And so if you haven't been as engaged, if you have been putting it off, I want you to be thinking about the fact that you are an influencer. You are so important. You all know what it says behind my desk is know your value. If you are a woman, you are an influencer. If you have kids, you are an influencer. If you are married or have friends, you are an influencer. So this isn't just about you. This is about making sure it's a movement that when you know it, that you can teach it and you can show it to others. But it starts with you. You committing to yourself to understand, I no longer am going to have the dieting mindset. Restriction and deficits are never a good thing. I always say, since when is a deficit a good thing? It's not. Nothing flourishes in a deficit. When you fuel your body correctly and understand how food is fuel, when you are giving yourself the right portions of the right nutrients at the right frequency, and then you understand how to fit it into your life so it becomes part of who you are, there's no turning back. You get to actually lean into the purpose that you were put on this earth to have. And no longer playing with this game of let's find the best diet. Let's figure out what works for me. Oh, if it works for me, it might not work for you. That's not the case here, you guys. Blood sugar stabilization is what we all need. Y'all know that feeling when you get hungry, and I mean hangry. Your blood sugar is really low. Your body is telling you that blood sugar stabilization is what it needs. It's time that we start listening to it. And if you are a person that doesn't get that hungry anymore, I am more urgent for you. That means your metabolism keeps slowing down even more and turning around that ship. Though every day you wait is going to be harder and harder. I think about my beautiful mother-in-law, Nancy, who's in her 70s. Not only has she released 40 pounds, which is incredible, but her type 2 diabetic, she is now officially pre-diabetic, but she didn't start this until she was about 68. So 4 years later, we're making progress in so many ways. I mean, she's been making progress all the way through, but it's really a part of her life. But imagine if she had been 48. That type 2 diabetes diagnosis wouldn't have even been part of her life, right? And so it's never too late to start. But if you have, I always say, if you know you can do, if you have the information, why don't you do it? You have it in front of you. You have it in this group. And I always say, wherever you are in your journey, there is a place for you at Disruptive Nutrition. But I also want you to know your value. My daughter had a bunch of gift cards and just went shopping and spent $150 on clothes. We do that all the time. We can spend $500 on a weekend out with our friends. I literally, you can spend $60 for 4 people to get 4 bowls at Chipotle. We are worth more than a bowl of Chipotle, ladies. And so there are two ways I'm going to encourage you to light that fire under your butt. Okay. You can dig into this Facebook group and I encourage you to do so, but we can't give you that specific information. It's like searching around the sales rack at TJ Maxx or Marshall's. I am sort of over it. My time is worth more than that. You can't get your time back. So there's two ways. One, you guys know our 4 weeks to wellness lifestyle launch is our foundational program. And those of you that don't know it, go on our website and go take a look at it. Go to 4w2w.com. It is only open 3 times a year, but I'm going to tell you, we're going to open it and we're going to open it in the middle of May. And so we're going to start a new group May 17th. And we're only going to keep the doors open for 4 days. We're going to open and close the door over 4 days. It is a lot of work to kind of launch it and share about it and all of that. And I'm over it. I want to just support people. I want you who are ready and urgent. So put that date on your calendar. May 13th, we will open the doors. I'm looking at my calendar as I say this to you. May 13th, we're going to open the doors and I want you to be ready. I want you to do this. But I also wanted this day, today, to light a fire under your butt. And you're like, okay, I'm ready, Carrie. I don't want to wait till May 13th. I get it. So here's what you're going to go do. You're going to go to our website. We'll put a link in for you and you're going to go to our shop and go get the PFC course, the online course. The online course is $97, y'all. $97. I just told you we go to Chipotle and we don't even get the Topo Chico or the chips and guac. And it's $60 just for 4 bowls. This is talking $97 for literally a foundation of a lifetime. Okay. You go get that course, get yourself started. By dinner time tonight, you can know how to do PFC correctly. And then you go do that 4 weeks to wellness. You're going to have a special code and you can get your money back for that course and do the 4 weeks to wellness. Do it right with us, with a coach by your side. Okay. So there's no risk. You go do the PFC course and then May 13th, you sign your butt up, be the first person to sign up for the 4 weeks to wellness, because it's the only one we're going to have before summer. We're not going to do another one until the fall. This is your one opportunity and you're going to invest in yourself and know your value and know that it is no more time to waste. You don't have time to keep going around this mountain, keep playing the game of trial and error and finally settle in on the last nutritional advice you'll ever need. Now, I know I got some diet disruptors here that have gone through the 4 weeks to wellness or even our 12-week program, which is a bigger program we'll tell you about. You can learn about later, but I just want people at least doing the 4 weeks to wellness. But anybody that has done the 4 weeks to wellness, just put in some comments about what it's done for you and why you know this is the last nutritional advice you'll ever need. I know that I got a few of you out there, so I want you to share it. I hope that you're now urgent. I hope that this is like, yeah, I got to do this. I have no more time to waste. You're not getting any younger. Your muscle mass is going, whether you like it or not. That train is going down the track. Now, if you guys have seen a few of my posts recently, I'm 46 years old. When I was 40, I couldn't do one single pull-up. And I remember it took me a year. I was finally eating right. It took me a year. This is not a quick fix magic pill. I want you to learn this. You're going to start to feel better immediately. And this is going to be a lifetime journey. And my goal was to do one pull-up. And I remember getting my very, very first pull-up when I was 40. And I was so excited. It took me a year to do it. And just last week, I did 14 chin-ups with 15 pounds around my neck. Science and society has told us that I should be getting slower. I should be getting weaker. I'm losing muscle mass. But y'all, because I've been doing this lifestyle for 7 years, I'm getting stronger. I'm going against the way that I really should be going. And I can tell you, if I was continuously dieting, then I wouldn't be there right now. I would be absolutely on the other end of that spectrum. So every day that goes by, you are like, you know how we talk about 1 step forward, 4 steps back. That's what's happening. Every single day that goes by, you are losing time. And we don't have the privilege of getting that back. Nobody can afford to waste time. We are on this earth for an infinite amount of time. And if you don't get this right, when do you get to actually do the things that matter? Because too many of us are so just completely obsessed with thinking about food, allowing food to control us, allowing food to take a hold of us because we don't understand food. Food is not good or bad. It's a protein, fat, or carb. And we understand food. We can release an entire weight off of our shoulders that you don't see on the scale, but is right in our hearts. And when we get rid of that, we lean into our purpose. We start to become the person we know we were meant to be and start to do the things we were put on this earth to do. No more time to waste. Not only are you getting your body more and more screwed up every single day, you don't stabilize your blood sugar correctly, but your mind, your body, your soul needs to be done with the search, needs to be done with the cycle of trial and error, needs to be done going around that mountain. Do it for the last time and do it right. So we'll put the links in here, put comments in, tell me what you're thinking, tell me how fired up you are now to do this and do this right and well. All right, you guys, I love you. Remember, wherever you are in your journey, we have a place for you here. Thanks.